with all of our parts and pieces cut out, routed, I took a little time and sanded them. We're gonna assemble all these. To do that, we're gonna be using this little thing here called a nail gun. So the nail gun is a pneumatic tool. When you hear the word pneumatic, that means that it's powered by air. So this is the air hose that goes to the air compressor. And the way that works is to plug it in. We're gonna release that sleeve right there. That. And then we're gonna push it back in. It takes 2 hands. So like this. Push that sleeve in, push it up, the fitting, and you gotta push hard. Okay, so the nail gun works. So I can show you how to unload and load it. So we're gonna push a little button. That slides in. Whoops, wrong way. Let me do that again. Push this little button. The nails are housed in here. These are 1.25 inch. They're called brads. If someone knows why they're called brads, let me know. But so these brads slide in just like a stapler, and then you pop it on, and then you're loaded. So there's a safety on this gun right here. So this little safety has to be pushed in order for the nail gun to fire. If it was plugged in like that, it wouldn't fire until I push this little button down, and then now I'm able to fire. Okay, so when you shoot the nail, it's important to understand this concept here. As that nail comes into the wood, it's most likely going to bend a little bit, and usually it bends this way or this way. So again, it bends this way or this way, this way, this way. It very seldomly bends this way or this way. So when you nail it together, for example, if you're nailing like this, as that nail bends, you want the nail to bend into the wood. Like this or like that. We don't want the nail to bend out of the wood like this. So we want to hold the gun like this and not like this. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is put our piece of wood in the vise. And this is the front of the project, this is the back of the project, so we want to put the glue on the project. If you can, try to get the glue away from the front. So again, this is the front, so I'm going to use my finger and kind of favor the glue to the back side of that project. So in addition to that, when I put the piece of wood on here, I'm going to roll it to the back so the glue squeezes out to the back side of the project. It's hard to get that glue off the front. So I'm going to go like that, roll it into that, squeeze out the back side, get everything lined up, and then pop a nail in there. Pop a nail in there, so 2 on the side. So I got my nail more or less in the center of this board right here. Now remember, this board's a 1/2 inch thick, and 1/2 inch is half of a half is a quarter. So if you wanted to give yourself a little line, you can set your square for 1/4 inch. And then give yourself a little line to follow, so you have an idea of where that center is. So I'm going to repeat that process on the other side here. Again, a little bit of glue. Favor to the outside. Roll into it so you push the glue to the outside of the project. so it's easy to sand off and you don't see it. And then draw your line if you want to. All right, so we're at a good start right there. Now, we have to attach our top to our bottom assembly. So to do that, I'm going to measure from here to here. Zoom out there. From here to here and divide by 2. So I want to find the center. So let me do that. So I think this one's 21. So half of 21 is 11 and I'm sorry, 10 and a half. So I'll make a mark at 10 and a half. And then make that mark a little bit bigger. Double check, 10 and a half, 10 and a half. Yep. All right, so that mark on the back side right there is in the middle of the board. So I'm gonna measure from here to here and find the center of that. And then that's gonna be half of 15 is 7 and a half, a little bit bigger, so I'll go a little bit bigger than 7 and a half. So 7 and a half. And then I'll make that line just a little bit bigger down here. 7 and a half, 7 and a half. Okay, so now I have my 2 lines. And when those 2 lines line up, that means we're in the center of our project. Just to double check everything, if I line it up on the bench, upside down, line up my 2 lines like I just showed you, measure the overhang here, which is 3. This one should be 3 as well, and it is. All right, so I'm ready to nail this on. I'm gonna put it back in the vise here, line up my 2 lines, and then draw a quick little line on the top of the project so I know where my sides are. So I drew a line on the top here and here. So when I nail, I know where my sides are so I don't get a nail poking through that I don't want to see. And remember, if you shoot too far out this way, you won't hit the side either. So you want to make sure that come in a little bit on that. So 2 in the top there. So again, I'll put some glue on here. I don't want to put too much, and I want to make sure when I can put the glue to the outside of the project so you don't see it when you nail it on. Line up my center marks there. And get my nail gun. I like to do 3 on the back. Nails is more like a permanent clamp that never goes away, and the glue does most of the work. I think I made the dog nervous. I got a shiner. Look at that. It's called a shiner. So a shiner is when the board or the nail sticks out of the board. Okay, so how do we take care of a shiner? Some of you will get those. Let me show you. So we can see why I got the shiner. I missed my line. Okay, so how do we get the shiner out of there? I'm going to put the project in the vise, and I'm going to use what's called a nail set to kind of hopefully pop it through the backside. And this is a pretty common thing, so I kind of wanted to explain how to do it anyway, so why not? We're going to use this little doohickey here called a nail set. See, it's got that little dimple. It's got a little dimple right there in the end. So we're gonna use that to our advantage. We're gonna put that dimple right on that nail, and then we're gonna try to bang that shiner out from the front side here, which is kind of tricky. And it doesn't always work, so this is where you gotta cross your fingers and trying to get shiners. You see that nail bending, and it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel that back, get some cutters and cut it off and try to bury that head and for that nail. So I'll be right back. Okay, so from bad to worse it goes on the shiner. I wasn't lucky enough to hit it through the front, or I was hoping to poke it through the top of the project, but it bent. So what I'll do now, as close as I can, is cut the nail with these cutters. They're in the pliers drawer, and make sure to wear glasses because these little things will fly. All right, and then I'm going to hit it with a hammer and a nail set and bury the head of that nail, or that tip of the nail, into the wood. Tomorrow we'll cover it with some wood filler and chalk it up to learning. Okay. So there you go. All nailed together.